Welcome to the Getting Married Multiculturally podcast. I'm your host, Edith, and this is episode number 34. Thank you so much for listening. And today's topic is titled, I'm scared to make the move. And I'm talking about making the move, moving to a new country or moving to just simply in a new state or a new city because of the partner that you want to move in with and start your life with them. And during the summertime, while I was in Europe, I did get a lot of questions from you guys about this topic that gave me the idea to make an episode out of it. And I got some questions about how to overcome our fear when it comes to making decision to moving to this new country. And let's just use this example to moving to a new country because it's a little bit more drastic change, especially if there's a language barrier involved or a cultural difference that's much broader than where you used to live or where you grew up. And I mean, not everybody is as crazy as I was 10 years ago when I didn't really think anything through. I was just in love and decided that I'm just going to follow Adam wherever he lives so we can be together. I didn't strategically thought this through that what am I going to do here? What am I going to work? What am I going to do being so far from my family, or about giving up on my own dreams to live in Italy? I didn't think about any of this. I just wanted to go where he is, and he could have been anywhere in the world. I would have gone. It doesn't matter if it's America or, he's just happened to be American. But anyway, and I did had an episode on this where I was sharing about how I had to start over my life 4 times. Moving from Serbia to Hungary, then from Hungary to Italy, and then from Italy we moved to America, and then again when we saved our marriage, which is a completely different story, and then that's when we made our 4th move, but that was already together as a family, which made everything much easier. But anyway, so I have to say that throughout all of these moves, I didn't really have a fear at all. But after speaking to some of you guys, I had to realize that there are all people out there who are not just blindfoldedly not thinking through what's going to happen or is this a good decision, and they are worried about making this move. Is this the right thing? And I'm not saying that because you are second guessing if you are in love or if you really want to be with this person. I'm thinking about, is this going to be a good move physically as going from one culture to the other? But let's be real here, not assume that everybody just has this relationship when they don't question the truthfulness of it, or if that person really is the one that you are willing to completely change your whole life for that person. Maybe some of you are then trying to make that decision too. But the other point I wanted to make is maybe I was thinking maybe it was easy for me to make these moves so quickly and without too much worry and just blindfoldedly sort of say, because I was so young and I didn't have children. I didn't really have any kind of commitment or anything that would ground me to where I was. But now I do. So I'm thinking, as I'm getting older and I have children who go to school, that actually this is a hard thing. And I'm thinking, I don't even know how I did all of this. What made me so brave and this courage to just pack up and go and do this? My point is that 10 years ago, making this decision was so much more easier. So I don't know if some of you out there are having a hard time because you already established a life for yourself. You're a little bit older than I was. So making these moves are actually west a lot of more thinking through and planning and all of that. So, this is what I wanted to chat about today and give you guys some advice. Maybe I can help you make this decision a little bit easier. And that way, once you are taking an action towards one of your decisions, you can feel confident and good about it. I mean, have you asked yourself, am I a bad person for asking these questions? Am I a bad person for making this denial of maybe not wanting to move somewhere for love and just let this relationship go, or let it just sit in a long distance forever? Because honestly, I never regretted my decision. It's been tough and it is hard to be away from my family. I think that's mostly the hardest part for us right now. But obviously, arriving was had a lot of more other challenges that I already overcome, like the language and fitting in and all of those things that come with moving into a new country. But I think right now all we have left is that we have my family so far away from us. But anyway, I did not regret my decision, and I think living in this country actually made me a better person, made me more aware of myself. But let's not get into specific countries. I'm trying to generalize here a little bit and not assume that everybody's moving to America or everybody's moving to Europe. I know that a lot of you are from all over the world, and making this decision is based on what type of country are you moving in, how different the cultures are in there, and how much are you connected with your own culture. So, anyway, what I was saying is that I didn't regret this decision, and I know this is a sad story, but that's just the reality that my husband and I, we were separated and we were planning to get a divorce. That was the time when I was kind of regretting doing all of this, being scared that I'm gonna move back, or can I move back, and that was the only time when I was thinking about moving back to Hungary and forgetting all of this, what just happened. But we had our daughter and I could not move back. That was just not an option for me. I wanted her to have both of their parents together, and she grew up here. She is from here. So it was obvious for me and had no choice but to stay. And I know it's a sad story, but I think that everybody who's getting into this sort of serious relationship, commitment, marriage, having children together, and building your life together in a different country, you need to consider this too and think about it, that how much responsibility and how big actually your commitment is to this marriage. Because unfortunately, there are a lot of divorces, and we know that not every relationship makes it all the way to the end. I think this is a topic that not many of us like to talk about, because you are in a stage of your life when you are about to get married and you're in love and you know that you want to spend your whole life with this person. So I'm not trying to talk you out of it or down talk or put any kind of bad taste into this conversation or talk you out of moving. But this is something that I didn't think about and would have been good for me to kind of wrap my head around and make sure that when I marry this person, it's going to be forever, because we are not going to be separate, and if we do, it's going to make our life really, really difficult and very rooted, sort of say. And I don't want to keep going on this topic, but unfortunately, I do know a lot of women who ended up getting a divorce and they are struggling financially and what with their children. They're stuck in a different country. They can't move back home, or it's the opposite. They have to leave the country because of the divorce. So they have to take their step back and start everything over again. So I think this might be an uncomfortable conversation to have or to even think about, but it is important to talk about this with your partner and see where you are about this, what your opinions are, how do you vision your life together. And of course, we all hope that this will never ever happen in your life, but it's good to just chat about, just like some couples talk about financials, commitments or financial decisions that may making, maybe a prenups, or especially if you are a little bit older and you already have an established career or some savings. So these are just things that are uncomfortable to talk about, but just like I said, if you are getting married and you're committing your whole life to somebody, then you do have to kind of put everything out there and try to talk about this together. So this is one of the reasons why you should think about this move. And then the other one is, if I want to go further back in our past and think about even further when we met, when we fell in love, how we saw everything through these pink glasses. Everything was amazing, this honeymoon phase. And I just wanted to be with this person no matter what happens, no matter what the moves and changes and sacrifices I have to make. So, yeah, I did not think about it. I did not think twice about it. And plus, I didn't know his family. I didn't know his parents. I didn't know if they would accept me, if they would like me. I didn't know about his past or past relationships or what people he knows in a place where I'm about to move in. What are his ethics and how does he work? What's his health condition, or how he lives. Does he leave his socks all over the house, and is he doing something in his home that would annoy me or make me not love him? Well, basically, I loved everything about him and I didn't care, and I was actually really excited to figure all of these things out right after we get married and after we have our opportunity to actually live together. Because couples usually, ideally, and here I'm generalizing, I know, but they live together. Couples, can I say normal couples? No, I can't say normal couples because we are normal too. But couples who live in the same city, they would ideally, again, move in together before they get married so they can get a feeling on how they would live together, if they like, connecting their life together in every way, not just going out on dates and having fun together. But us multicultural couples, often we don't have that luxury because we have to be in a long distance relationship, or after we move in together because of visa processes or immigration, we have to get married right away or pretty quickly in a couple of months. So we don't have this luxury of, just being together for years. Unless you live in, again, here I'm trying to think about all the scenarios and options. So maybe you are from a different culture and you are living in the same city. And my personal opinion is that I hope you live together so you can test out, do you like living together? Because after you get married, you're gonna have to do that anyway. So we learned everything after committing to each other, after signing the marriage certificate, after saying to each other that we're gonna be together forever, without knowing how was actually being with that person feels or will feel for me down the road 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now. and for choosing this person that I barely knew for the rest of my life. So if you come to me and say that you are scared to make this move, I completely understand why, because I should have been scared too. And I made a list of some things that you will ask from yourself, and to kind of help you guide through these questions. I do actually have already a couple of episodes that I recorded, topics that would help you, and one of them is episode 22, where I talk about, is he or she marrying me or marrying the culture and a country I'm from? If you have this doubt or this worry, then you can check out that episode. And then there's episode number 24, where I was talking about, should I nurture my culture when I live abroad? That's the other thing maybe you're considering or worried about, leaving your culture, leaving everything, your traditions and holidays. And should you and can you nurture them when you live in a different country? And then there's episode 20. Will I lose my cultural identity? This is something that I just recently started to think about, and it really is, ultimately, identity is something that changes in us no matter if we move or not, if we change our life physically or not. I mean, change our life physically. No, I mean, if we change our physical place where we live, our identity changes because of the person we live with, the location we live, the culture we live in, career we have, choices we make. So everything is molding our identity, but it does changes based on the culture you surround yourself with. So I put all of these links where you can find these topics in the show notes if any of these interests you and want to check them out. So now let's see, why are we scared? I made a list. I know I love lists, and just makes my thoughts, helps me collect my thoughts and make sure that I share with you everything when I hit record on this podcast. When I'm also filming this, so you can check out the video on YouTube and on my Facebook page. But before I hit record, I just want to make sure to collect my thoughts, and so I can share everything that I want with you guys, and I don't say at the end that, oh, I forgot to say this one thing that was really important, and add to it. Sometimes if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I'm checking my notes and making sure that I tell you everything I wanted. So anyway, let's see my list about why are we scared? Why do we have this feeling? And I know that there are like thousands of different variations of stories that I hear, and I know that not everybody is gone through the same way I did, or is about to go through the same way I did. So that's why there are a lot of different reasons why we could be scared to make this move. Some of them is maybe you live abroad together already and you just decided to move to a new country together, or to your own country or to your partner's country. And in my opinion, that makes everything a little bit easier because you already have your partner. You guys already know each other, how you live together. You're just gonna go and experience this new culture together as a couple, and that's just something that I wish we would have done. It just sounds so much fun and exciting. Obviously, there's a different scenario if you two are going back to your country or to your partner's country, because then there's gonna be this feeling of, oh, he or she already feels home, already has and knows things that are new for me. So you're gonna feel you need to have more guidance and more encouragement to adopt to things that are new for you and not new for your partner. So that's a little bit different. Or maybe you want your kids to be born in a specific country or culture, so that's why you're scared to move, because you want to make sure that this is going to be a good place where your children can born and grow up and go to school and have friends and just be connected and committed and feel that culture as their own. So when you're not only thinking about yourself when you're deciding on a country, but you're thinking about your whole family and how that's going to affect them, then maybe you are in a long distance relationship, just waiting for a visa approval, and that's why you are scared, worried what's going to happen, scared if it's going to even happen. If it does, what are some of the processes that you need to go through after that? Maybe you just met a few times, but you want to move in together anyway, which what happened with me. We only went on 2-3 dates, then we spent time together for 2 weeks, and that's when we got engaged. We were in a long distance for 4 months. After that, I moved to America and we got married a month later. So, yep, everything happened really quickly. We didn't spend too much time together. And that's also one of the examples that I'm sure a lot of you are going through or are thinking about doing. Then maybe you're moving to a third world country, so where living conditions are a little bit harder than what you're used to, and you are scared to move for obvious reasons. Maybe it's not so safe, but you're just so much in love, and or maybe you don't have an option but going where the love of your life is, maybe just temporarily or maybe permanently. But those are obviously, understandably, questions that you are considering for feeling not so safe or not a place where you dreamed of living. Even if you move to a new country, are you going to your partner's town where they are from? He has or she has families and friends and job and a house maybe, or you are going to a completely fresh new place, like even inside a country that you're moving to, but you two are going to be new in all of this. I think there are two different scenarios, and you're gonna have different challenges throughout your moving when you're doing that. Change is risk, and that's why people are usually scared to do that, because getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of your comfy little bubble is scary and it's filled with unknownness. But that's actually what makes us grow as a person and what makes us experience life. So, I mean, that's just how I think. And I'm not going to apologize for that. I think that I grew a lot each time I moved somewhere and I experienced and I saw how people live their life. I had some comparison and to understand that what really life is about and what happiness is and the choices we make in our lives. So I don't know if you can feel it in my voice, but I am encouraging you and I'm trying to tell you that making a move is a good choice. And even if it turns out badly, that it almost did for us, there are still things that you learn and experience, or maybe you just do differently later. And if it doesn't work out, then you can always just go back. And I know maybe you will go back heartbroken, or maybe you will go back by just losing everything. But experiencing things in your life is what makes you stronger. And if you don't try it, you never know what would have happened if you did. Maybe you're scared because you have a hard time living far away from your family. I completely understand that. I am very close to my family too, but we made it work somehow, and I'm grateful that my parents didn't abandon or got mad at me of making this decision. I think that if you have a family who truly loves you and wants you to be happy unselflessly and wants what's good for you, then they gonna support it and keep in contact with you and help you along the way. And I do miss my family. I do miss my parents, but I have to say that throughout these years, and 10 years is a long time, we did get used to it and understood that there are sacrifices that we made in exchange of this life that I have chosen and made a decision for myself. Maybe you are scared to move very, very far. I mean, the distance that you're gonna have between your home and this new place is just crazy. And I always think about that when we go back to visit my family or when I moved here the first time, because I moved from Hungary to Italy, which is basically a 1 or 2 hour flight home, and I was able to go back every 2-3 months. Now we can only go once a year, or maybe every other year. So the distance also is something that can scare you. Or maybe you're scared that what if you just simply don't like being there? What if you don't like the food and so you don't feel like eating anything? Maybe you're afraid that the locals won't like you because you are a foreigner. What if you have kids there and they start going to school and then you want to move somewhere? So you want to make a decision based on having kids. Maybe you're scared for legal reasons, getting a visa, being denied. It costs a lot of money, financial, legal reasons. So these are all things that can scare you away from making this decision. You're worried to find a job. You can't work because you don't have a green card. This is specifically for people moving to America, that we have this big issue and big challenge for foreigners moving to America, that there are months, sometime a whole year, when you just are not allowed to work. So your partner have to support you, and that's just a pretty big situation that will kind of weigh on your relationship, that maybe you don't think about it now, but it's actually a real thing and a real feeling that of not being able to support your family. Maybe you are scared because you know that now I have to find a new doctor, I have to find a new dentist, a new school, a hairdresser. So not just job, but everything that you need for your life, you're gonna have to find in this new place. And these are all the things that could scare you away from making this decision. All right, guys, here's my other list, which is things that you can tell yourself to feel better and to just not be so scared and worried. One, you are doing this for an amazing reason. You are in love, so it's not a decision that you make because there's a war in your home and you have to move, or you have to move for a career, which that also can be a good reason and a good thing to do. But I think that moving for love is a really romantic thing to do. So, number two is, if the relationship doesn't work out, you will move back. Or if you don't like living there, you can move back, or you guys can move somewhere else. And number three is, think about it like it's just temporary, and that way you have a less pressure. It's just something you guys want to try out. How would you like living here? If not, we can try something else. So if you think about it that it's not for the rest of your whole life, you have a less pressure. Number four, tell yourself that I'm traveling the world and this is so exciting that I can explore new things, new food, language, clothing, people interacting, building relationships and friendships. And you know what? Actually, if you're worried that you're not gonna like the food, you can cook yourself. You can go to the grocery store. You can ask your family to bring to ship some ingredients. Even I do that sometime too. I bring stuff from home that I can cook with. You can even do a project, like a forever ongoing project that connects you more to your home. For example, you can have a blog when you're writing your experiences and your feelings, or you can do photography where you just take pictures of your exploration, which is things that I did. And I now thinking back, I think that's why I really enjoyed it, because I was able to connect and tell my story to the people who were interested about. Also, kids are flexible. I think that's a very, very good benefit for kids who are constantly moving to new places and new countries. learning about new cultures. These days, there's just so many global kids, and they are called third culture kids who are born from, I don't know, is it born from parents? I don't know, who have parents that are from different cultures, and parents who moved from different places, and that's something that makes them special and makes them be more aware of the world. And it really is a plus. It's not a negative thing that you have to drag your kids to a new place. So let's talk about how can you prepare yourself for the move. First of all, there are some practical reasons that you need to prepare paperwork or get your visa ready. You need to prepare yourself financially, get your credit cards situated, save up some money. You need to get airplane tickets, rent an apartment, or spend money on moving your furnitures, no matter whatever stage in your life you are in. And then, do you have maybe a savings together as a couple, or maybe do you have belongings together? Like I mentioned, maybe you're already married or living together in one place, and you're now planning to move to a different country together. So you have furnitures, you have savings together. Those are things that you need to consider. What is gonna happen with those when you're moving? Do you need to sell a house, or do you need to buy a house? Are you gonna rent an apartment? What papers do you need to rent an apartment? Do you need an ID card, or is just a passport enough? Do you need to find a job so they can give you an apartment, or you just want to invest in buying a house right away? Do you have furnitures that you want to move, or you just gonna pack your clothes in 2 suitcases like I did and came over and build up everything together as a couple, as a family and married couple? Or like I said, maybe you're older and you already had time to establish a career and be financially more stable than I was. So you have furnitures, you have a car, a house that you need to think about transitioning your whole life into this new place. So you can prepare yourself by going to visit the place where you're planning to move, because photos are really not enough. And I think it really is worth the investment of your time and the money to, buy airplane tickets or just go there for a couple of days, get a hotel or an Airbnb and spend a couple of days there, look around. Is it a big city? Is it a small town? What kind of vision do you have? The kind of lifestyle you want to have? Do you want to live in a big city in an apartment, or do you want to live in the suburbs? Or just get a feeling if you even like the weather even, because I didn't have that opportunity when I moved to Washington and to Kennewick, and I didn't really like that it was such a small city that there weren't many opportunities for me as somebody who wants to be a designer, a photographer, or wants to be an artist, or wants to meet with diverse people who came from different cultures. So for me, it was very important to live somewhere like we are now, in a bigger city where I can have these communities that I can surround myself with. So, but before we moved to Arizona, we did come down here for 2-3 days with my husband, and to just look around and see if we would like it here. And we did like it. So that helped us make that decision. Number 2 is make the commitment and a goal that you will come back to visit your hometown, your family. It kind of makes it easier to help to plan your future. And if you prepare for that, then you can prepare yourself financially too. And when you get a job, you can prepare them that you are planning to visit your family who lives in another country. So you're going to be gone for a longer period of time, 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. So that's something that you can look for and prepare yourself for, knowing that, okay, I'm gonna want to come back and visit once a year or twice a year, and I'm gonna need this much money to buy airplane tickets and this much time from my job. And it doesn't have to be a long period of plan. It might change and vary as you have kids, or as you get financially more stable, or as you have different desires. But that's just something that will make this plan easier if you kind of know what you need to look for the future. And also, it's good for your family too, because then they know when to expect you, that you're not completely shutting them out of your life. Number 3 is find local cultural communities, groups. There are so many Facebook groups now. That's how I found the Hungarian community I'm part of here in Arizona, through Facebook, and that's pretty much the easiest place you can go to, and just type in like what I did is Hungarians in Phoenix, Hungarians in Arizona, and hopefully you will find a community that has to do something with your culture or country. If it's not even specifically your country, maybe it is similar to your culture. A lot of people love to get together and build these communities, and that just helps so much with your homesickness. Number 4 is hook everybody up to Skype before leaving. I don't know if I even said this right, but anyway, make sure that everybody has a Skype, FaceTime, whatever you prefer to use when you want to communicate with your friends and family. So when you actually make the move and you leave, you have a way to connect with your family and to call each other, message each other. We use Facebook Messenger now and Viber, which is really popular in Hungary, when we are sending pictures, videos to each other, and just like little heads ups of what's going on in our life currently. Helps a lot. Number 5 is load up with movies, books, music in your own language. This is an issue that I have, and throughout the years I did. I was able to collect a ton of Hungarian books, and I had CDs in my car, and we were listening music with my kids, Hungarian songs. I have a lot of DVDs that have Hungarian movies, and I know these days we can get everything from internet or YouTube or whatever, but there's something really exciting about opening a book that it's on your own language that you really couldn't buy in a place where you currently live. Number 6, get a different perspective. What I mean by that is try to connect with people who been through this, who live this lifestyle, and or been through this kind of a move. People who are doing this all the time. They're moving constantly, because then you kind of start to see that, oh, this is normal. Oh, actually, a lot of people do this. A lot of family do this. There are a lot of kids who are multicultural and multilingual, and it kind of makes you feel you belong to these people. And not just that, but makes you feel like you're not doing anything wrong or strange or something silly or something that you would regret. And what I do is I just go on Instagram and I do a hashtag searching for Hungarians around the world, or expat life, or living abroad, and then that way I find people who live this lifestyle, and I follow them, I DM them, I connect with them. It just makes me feel like and it just makes me feel good, because if you're only surrounded yourself with people who live a different lifestyle, they will maybe make you feel bad, or they will make you feel that you are really wrong on living this life, and why should you even move? You should live your life here, and you shouldn't leave your country and your culture. So you don't want to surround yourself with people and friends who feel this way, or who are trying to pull you back from your dreams. Number 7, if you have moved before in your life, then that helps a lot, and try to refresh your memories. How did you feel? What did you do when you had to make that move? And was it good? Is there something you would want to do differently? That can also help you a little bit with your present and future decisions. Number 8, talk with your partner about your plans, about the dreams, wishes, but that's okay if they change. So I think that my husband and I, we did talk about, just things that come up with every relationship. Do you want to have kids? Where do you want to live? Like in a house or apartment? What kind of job or career you have passionate about? What cultures do you love? And it's okay if these change throughout the years or when you guys are actually already together, but it's good to be on the same page with your partner. For example, don't surprise him or her with saying, "Oh, I actually want to visit my family every year," and you didn't know about it, or "I actually moved here only temporary for a couple of years and then I just want to move back." So make sure you communicate everything with your partner and you guys are on the same page and encouraging each other and helping each other out when you're feeling sad or you are homesick. And number 9, this is the last one, is set up expectations, but don't rely on stereotypes or other people's opinion. And what I mean by this is do your research about the culture and country you're about to move to, but don't rely on just listening what people would just say. Oh, Americans are like this, Hungarians are like this, Italians are always like that, because you might have a different experience. You maybe live in a different environment than these people did. Maybe these people just went there for vacation and they have a complete different opinion. It's really easy to judge a whole country or whole culture and nationality based on one experience. Just having maybe like a grumpy waitress at the Hungarian restaurant, or I don't know, Italian restaurant, and just say, "Oh, Italians are just so grumpy." So don't write off a place based on just a couple of experiences or people who are negative about it, but also just be aware of things that are expected there. And I have actually a lot of fun with this little thoughtfulness of my culture shocks that I had when I moved to America, or what are some reverse culture shocks that I have when I went back to Hungary. And then I talk about, oh, Hungarians are like this, Americans are like that, but it's never really stereotypically just talking about the whole nation as it is. I mean, there's just so many other variations that play into this opinion, but it's fun to sometimes share them, obviously, but hopefully you're not taking them too personally or write off the country based on one opinion. All right, guys, I am done with my lists for today. Actually, I have a little surprise for you too. I have a freebie that I made a while ago, and I thought this would perfectly fit into the stage you are in your life right now. I'm assuming you listened this whole episode. That means that you're planning to move. And I made this fun freebie. They're actually planner stickers, so 4 sheets of little informations, months, places, little words in different languages, map. I also have a whole page of quotes, and you can grab these, download them. It's a PDF. You download it on your computer and then you print it out on a sticker sheet and then just cut them out and paste it into your planner that you have. Maybe you have some notebooks. I know I had a bunch of notebooks when I was moving, and to help you a little bit organize things. Like I said, I love lists, and this helps organize your timeline, your location, put some fun little pictures over it, little quotes that will encourage you to move forward with your plans so you don't get don't get stuck. So anyway, you can grab this multicultural planner stickers from my shop that I have. If you haven't heard about it, it's the same name like my podcast, Getting Made Multiculturally. It's currently running on Etsy's platform, but I also have a couple of pages on my website where you can check out some products that I'm selling there. But I would really love all of my listeners to give you guys these stickers for free. And to grab these, all you have to do is go to editvashadi.com/multicultural stickers. It's all one word. So, this is all. I hope I was able to help you, and I wish you the best along your moving journey. Thank you so much again for listening. This is a little bit longer episode, but obviously, I had so much to share and I didn't want to miss out on anything. You can find the show notes, links, find some pictures, and read a little bit more about these lists that I said if you just want to write it down for yourself, or have them checked again without having to listen this episode again. You can just go on my blog, and that's where I usually make a post about every episode. This one's link is editvashadi.com/scared to move. But you can just find the link also if you go on the show notes of this specific podcast. Or if you feel like connecting with me, or you want to chat with other people who are moving, planning to move, I am building a community of people who are like you on my Facebook group. It's called Getting Married Multiculturally Facebook group. It's not many of us there. It's not so active yet, but I'm hoping that as soon as enough of us get together, we can just start these conversations and have fun and help and encourage each other, give each other tips and ideas. All right, next week, guys, I am going to be talking about how do I incorporate different languages into my multicultural wedding. So this is going to be a topic for those who are planning their wedding, planning their multicultural wedding, and have guests who speak in different languages. Until then, everybody have a great weekend, have a great weekday. Thank you so much again for listening, no matter where you are in the world, and talk to you later. Bye!